So what we're seeing now is another strengthening of this comes on the echoes of the Fed meeting last week. More specifically, we had Fed member Dennis Lockhart reiterating that he supports a 2015 rate hike. That's positive for the US dollar. The big development overnight was a weak figure from China, and we had manufacturing PMI, the Kishin, the independent figure, falling to a new low since 2009 to 47 points. So that was negative for the Australian dollar. In other PMIs from the old continent, from Europe, the French economy looks better. Finally, French manufacturing is in growth territory, not in contraction. That helped euro-dollar stabilize, but only for a while. German figures were basically okay. And we have more echoes from the crisis in Volkswagen. The German car manufacturer basically cheated in the US on emissions. The share price fell. And this is important for FX because there is many suspect that other car manufacturers will suffer as well. So it pushes stock markets down and helps the doom and gloom atmosphere, pushing global stock markets down and helping the US dollar. So these are recent developments, and we're expecting an eventful day. We've already had some events with the fall of the Australian dollar. And moving to another commodity currency, we have retail sales in Canada at 12:30 GMT. The Canadian dollar looks weak, as we've shown before. Let's look again at the chart. It's closer, dollar CAD to 133. Another weak figure from Canada can maybe help it break higher, and a good figure will push it a bit lower. The market seems to want to sell the Canadian dollar. The big event of the day is Mario Draghi testifying in Europe. I think this is one of the reasons that euro-dollar is falling. Let's look at the chart. Markets I see euro-dollar is in range between 111 and 111.50, closer to the lower bound of the range. We might see it even fall further because we expect Draghi to be quite dovish. But please note that it might be already priced in. So if Draghi doesn't say anything earth-shattering, if he doesn't make a very, very clear statement about acting soon and perhaps enlarging the monthly bond buys, we might have sort of buy the rumor, sell the fact reaction. So this is what I expect. If we have only ready to do more, but it might already be priced in. Watch the movements towards the event. So we have around 4 hours until the testimony begins. If we see euro-dollar falling a bit too much towards the event, we cannot rule out a bounce afterwards on a buy the rumor, sell the fact reaction. Later on, we have another speech from Dennis Lockhart. It might have less impact because it's the third time he's speaking this week. That's 4:30 GMT. And tomorrow, when the show begins, we have an important figure from Germany, the IFO Business Climate. That's the #1 think tank in Germany. And expectations there stand on a small fall in confidence, but as we know from the zoo figure, it can be even worse. But also here, there is a caveat. We have subcomponents of this figure. Future expectations could be weak, but the present could look good, and that could be the silver lining, serve as a balancing act. And let's have another reminder of the main themes in markets. These are echoes from the Fed decision. I think I've mentioned that. The ECB's next move, of course, that's Draghi's speech today. And China, we had figures from China now. And Chinese stock markets, talk about Chinese economy. Everything is going to accompany us for quite some time. So thank you. Here is my face back on the screen. I hope you learned something today, everybody that had attended.